Well, hello everybody, I'm JayLeonardJ, and today we're going to break down and master the Tyler Deluxe. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have something incredibly powerful in my hands right now. This is the Tyler Deluxe. Now, KMA says on paper, this thing is a fully isolated dual frequency splitter and parallel chain signal blender. Now, that's a lot of words, a lot of like really crazy words, but in a nutshell, what it is this pedal has two loops that you can switch between, blend together, and each loop has a little EQ that you can kind of play with, as well as there's ways like phase and all kinds of little tricks to make sure that everything sounds awesome at all times. Now, this pedal is actually very simple to use, but I could imagine it being quite intimidating for people, especially those that are maybe not quite sure what parallel blending is and all that kind of stuff. Trust me, once you get into this, you're gonna get addicted. So what I'm going to do today is I'm gonna break this thing down. We're gonna go over how to really get this thing going, and eventually you're going to master and start creating sounds that you've never even heard of. So I got myself Harmony Comet. I'm going into a Tone King Imperial, and let's get all the cool sounds out of this small little box. Before we get too deep into the craziness of this pedal, let's just figure out some of the basic functions of it and maybe an introduction to what exactly is going on when you're writing your effects in parallel. So what I have here is my clean tone. I have an HP loop, which I put the delay llama in, and I have the LP loop, which has my little Boss synthesizer in it. So I could turn on the pedal and turn on the HP loop, and I should just hear my delay llama. And then when I go onto my other loop, I should hear my synthesizer. That's pretty low stuff, so let's blend in some of my clean tone with it. Now we can turn on both pedals at the same time, and this is where it gets crazy. Now, if we were going serial, and that's when your pedals are plugged in one after each other, my delays would have the sound of the synthesizer on it. But since we're going parallel, our tone gets split into two, and they're treated as two separate chains. So one chain has synth, one doesn't, so you're gonna hear clean repeats, and the fundamental tone will have the synthesizer on it. It'll sound like this. So you definitely can see how a parallel rig can really benefit your sound. You can get like an overdrive on one loop, reverb on the other, and you have this really nice lead sustained guitar distorted sound, but then with this really crystal clear shimmery reverbs. Just really cool stuff. Let's dig in a little bit deeper, shall we? I have a two pedal setup here. I got a fuzz on the HP loop and an overdrive on the LP loop. Let's hear the overdrive first. And let's hear the fuzz now. Really, really neat. And you can hear there's some really nice harmonics here, really nice firmness on the low end here. Let's mix them together, and I could use this mix knob over here to blend more towards the overdrive or more towards the fuzz. But that's not where the fun really ends here. We can get even deeper. I like the harmonics here, but it doesn't really have much of a low end, where here it has a great low end, but maybe the harmonics aren't quite as exciting. So let's just get the high end of this and the low end of this, and you can do it via these two knobs. I'm gonna go pull off lows over here on this pedal. I'm gonna pull off highs on this knob over here. Let's see what we get. Finally, the big thing that really makes this thing stand out, especially compared to the older version of the Tyler, is that inside the box are isolated transformers for each channel, as well as ground lifts for each channel. On top of the box, we even have phase switches just to make sure our phase is correct. And that really makes things great when you're running a 3-amp guitar setup. Check this out. I made sure that there was minimal hum by using the ground lift switches inside the pedal, and I have my first amp going straight out into this amp, my Benson Chimera. The HP channel is going into a Caverns and into this Tone King Imperial, and finally, the LP return is going into this Vapor Trail and into this Rev D20. So we could start blending things together and get some incredible 3-way surround sounds. Check this out. This is just the amp, the Benson on its own. Now let's switch on the Imperial. I'm gonna blend in the clean, so I'm gonna blend in the Benson with the Imperial. You might see that the phase switch is on negative, because if it was on positive, I'd have like a little bit of a weird phase cancellation sound. And now let's turn on the reverb and the delay on the Imperial. Oh, this is getting cool. I'm gonna turn off this and we're gonna turn on the Vapor Trail. This is the Rev D20. Let's put it all on at the same time. And that is the Tyler Deluxe. Well, that is it. That's the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe to the page if you haven't already. Check out the links in the description below. And if you want to hear my review on the Tyler Deluxe, check it out on Patreon. I do all my reviews on Patreon for the Patreon subscribers, and all my demos and tutorials and lessons, all that stuff done right here on YouTube. My question for the subscribers today is, how would you use this pedal? Where do you see this thing getting the most use in your setup and for your sound? Please write in the comment section below. That being said, I'll see you all soon. Take care and goodbye.